is deep, John. You've been there at all of them. How do you feel so far through 10 days about the progress the Philadelphia Eagles have made through the summer?
Yeah, not a lot of change. I'm very high on the defense. Concerned about the playmakers on the offense outside of Devontae and Saquon, and to a certain extent Dallas as well. A little bit buoyed by the offensive line and their ability to practice and the health there. Certainly going to be better, it looks like, coming into the season than last year, so that should help. And then the actual change or difference or whatever, I don't want to get bogged down in definitions again, but whatever you want to label the offense as, there's going to be some growing pains. I don't think there's any question about that. They're basically running the Green Bay offense, which is a lot of pistol, along with under center. So that seems to be, through 10 practices, more than San Francisco or the Rams. It basically looks like Green Bay to me, which is good offense. The Eagles have had success beating it, but that's different. It's strange that they coveted it, but I think that's what you're going to get, and we're going to see how it works out.
Well, they've had success beating it. Do you put that in the hands of the offense, or do you more put that in the hands of the defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's the couple of them have been. There was a shootout in Brazil with turnovers all over. Last was it last year that was the defense?
I think so. I think. Yeah. No, yeah, last year was a defensive game.
So it's a give and take. They've beaten them both ways. And sometimes the Green Bay offenses look good, and sometimes it hasn't. So, but that's every offense. Let's be honest. But overall, it's a very good offense. And I think Love is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. At least, maybe he's not underrated, but there's a lot of people who I think don't recognize how good
they don't think he's good. He is good.
Yeah. He's very good. So I think we're going to see, but certainly Saquon Barkley, I think, is the key to it all. And they need a big year from him, and I think they'll get it. And I think the key to it all is, a lot of people talk about predictable. That was the big criticism of the Eagles. And that's where I really disagree with people. Predictability does not come from play calling. Predictability comes from situation. 3rd and 10, you're predictable. 3rd and 1, you're not. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Nobody knows. Ben Johnson, where Ben Johnson has set himself apart, with the aggressiveness on top of what he does, is unpredictable. When it's 3rd and 4, still both are on the table. It's always on the table with Detroit or now Chicago when Ben Johnson is running things, because he's going on 4th down. He's going. So they can do whatever they want on 3rd down. And more often than not, they try to run the ball to get closer on 4th down. Not necessarily with the idea of converting, but with the idea of just making it so easy on 4th down. That's been a big part of his success. So I think that's the big disconnect. And that's what they're trying to fix. And I think that's the proper approach. When you're 2nd, 3rd, manageable, everything, the whole playbook is at your disposal. When you're 3rd and long, you're predictable.
Yeah, makes sense. Circumstances obviously play a big role in that. It's good. It's a good point there by you, Johnny Mac. All right, John, day 10 here, moving into what's today? A walkthrough, right? And then tomorrow practice, Friday another walkthrough, and then game Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, we're working every day this week with the preseason opener, the big preseason opener.
Yeah. After that, it gets ugly quick. So enjoy the preseason opener, John.
Enjoy the first 10 minutes of the preseason.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Cole Payton maybe comes in and starts slinging it. All right, that might be fun to watch, or at least more fun than the alternative. Which we'll see what that looks like this weekend. John, to what degree is the importance of training camp heightened for rookies as compared to everybody else, in your opinion?
Well, it's more important for and young players as a whole. I mean, second year players. We talked a lot about second year players yesterday just by circumstance. You know, Mac McWilliams getting some first team reps when Quinyon got a little bit dinged up. Ty Robinson's getting more reps. I don't know if he's earned them or they just want to give him one last chance to prove that he can be an NFL player. So I think young players is better than rookies for the discussion, but it's very important for young players. It's not as important for, like, I don't worry about Devontae Smith or Jonathan Grenard as long as they're healthy.
So it's kind of maybe like a sliding scale, like
Yeah.
the deeper you get into your career, the less value, but the less.
I mean, you've seen it even in the NFL. You talk about Aaron Donald potentially coming back. He's not. He's going to wait till 2 weeks before the season, or he might even wait into the season if he truly plans to come back. We've seen the Eagles have success with that, bringing guys back. Brandon Graham recently, last year. Harrison Smith in Minnesota. He's still not back. Everybody thinks he's coming back. He might not come back into the season. I mean, it's those guys. As long as they're healthy and prepared and doing the stuff as far as conditioning, they can step right on the field and be impactful. Rookies and younger players, they have a lot to learn to get to that point. And it's far more important for them. So I assume this is a Makai discussion. It's very important. And to the point where you're now saying, there was that debate. Well, who's gonna get the second most targets? Forget about that. It's Wicks. That's over. I've called that race. Birds 365 Desk has called that race. Now it's about, can Darius Cooper overtake him for the third spot, or Elijah Moore for the third spot with the camps that they're having. And maybe he doesn't get significant playing time until deeper into the season. The quicker he gets back, the better it is. He's got to be close. He was on the jugs machine again. He's not wearing any compression sleeves. He's got to be close. My guess is that after the Baltimore game, they'll ramp him up. But that's just a guess.
Well, we'll see what that looks like for Makai Lemon. I am wondering how it impacts him, obviously, early in the year here for the Philadelphia Eagles. I know you've kind of pushed back on the importance of the early in the year thing for Makai, which I understand. I mean, especially when you point to examples like Cooper DeJean, you're not going to grade Cooper DeJean on the first 4 games. Obviously, he turned into what he turned into. But it did just feel, John, all summer to me like the drafting of Lemon was so important because of obviously the circumstances at the rest of the receiver group, trading A.J. Brown, things like that. And now it almost feels like, only 10 days into this thing, he's almost been non-existent, to this point. It doesn't mean it can't change, and it doesn't mean he's not going to be on the field, but I am the concern on Makai is growing for me in terms of him, being a viable contributor this year for the Eagles.
Well, yeah, I've always said week 1 doesn't matter to me, especially if the guy can turn into people throw around the word like a decade if he's going to be here. Now it's the modern. So if you're going to get 5 good years out of him, I don't give a shit if he's there for week 1 his rookie season.
Yeah.
Now that's looking into a crystal ball. Ultimately, if that happens, nobody will care. Just like nobody cares that Cooper wasn't ready. because he's turned into the player that he's turned into. There's the negative side that he's just not that good. But I can't go down that route because he hasn't practiced. I mean, it's not like he's practiced and he's been on the field and he's failing. He's not practicing.
In the limited reps, though, he didn't look great.
No, the first couple days he didn't do much. But again, it's the first couple days.
Yeah, it's hard
as a rookie. If he were out there for 10 days and healthy and performing like the way he did the first 2-3 days and not improving, then I'd be really worried. But he's been absent because of an injury. So as long as you clean that up, and there's some concern from that standpoint because he's already had 2. And he's been here a short period of time, started practicing in the spring, hurt his hamstring, started practicing in camp, hurt his hamstring. So maybe rest is what's needed. Maybe being extra cautious is what's needed. But I got to presume that the skill is going to take over. I say this now. Eli Stowers has been practicing, and he hasn't looked good, but he's getting a little bit better. Now you see him. He caught a pass yesterday. You see him flashing a little bit. And I assume with Makai, he would have gotten better and probably at a higher level if he continued to practice. There's too much skill to be. He doesn't have bad hands. Like people always go back to, he's a good route runner. So forget about Rager. Rager was never in the right place at the right time.
Right.
He's got good hands. He can track the football. So he's not like Aguilar.
He has traits to you that could lead to NFL success more so than other guys.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes. But obviously you have to see them. And I get it. People haven't seen them, so they're worried about it. But he's not out there failing. He's hurt. So that to me is different.
Real quick, last question here. Theo reminds me in the chat. Were you able to confirm whether this was the same hamstring as the spring, or is this a different one?
I have not, because obviously we haven't gotten to talk to him. So not positive. Maybe Caden has heard something on that. I did. Full disclosure, I forgot about that. I did ask. But
I figured they would be keeping it close to the vest anyway. Yeah.
It's usually easy to figure that out because either it's the same. And by the way, it could be the same one, but not related to the first one. Because there was such a distance in between. And that's easy to tell if they have the compression sleeve on, but he doesn't have it on. So, yeah. But we'll bring on Caden. I see Caden, maybe Caden.